The US-Canada border is more than just a line on a map, it's a living symbol of peace, trust, and cooperation between two nations. For generations, it has represented not only a physical boundary, but also a shared commitment to friendship and mutual respect. Stretching over 5,500 miles, it's the world's longest undefended border, a remarkable testament to a unique and enduring partnership. Unlike many borders marked by fences or walls, this one is defined by open landscapes and a spirit of collaboration. Every year, millions of people cross this border for work, to visit family, or simply to travel and explore. These crossings aren't just routine, they're the threads that weave together deep economic, social, and cultural ties. In many border towns, communities on both sides share not only economies and cultures, but even emergency services. Firefighters, paramedics, and police often work together, responding to calls regardless of which side of the line they're on. The border is the backbone of a massive economic partnership. Every single day, billions of dollars in goods and services flow back and forth, supporting businesses and livelihoods in both countries. From groceries on store shelves to jobs in factories and offices, daily life on both sides depends on this seamless connection. The border's openness makes it possible for people to live, work, and thrive together. For many, the border is personal. Families and friends are often spread across both countries, coming together to celebrate milestones, holidays, and life's special moments. The border is not a barrier but a meeting place. Americans and Canadians share more than just geography. They share TV shows, music, and especially sports. Hockey games in border towns bring fans from both sides together, reinforcing just how much these neighbors have in common. For most of its history, the border has served as a bridge, not a barrier. It's a place where people, ideas, and opportunities flow freely, shaping the lives of millions. Of course, disagreements have come and gone, but time and again cooperation and dialogue have prevailed. The ability to work through differences is a hallmark of this relationship. The underlying assumption has always been clear. We are partners who can resolve any problem together, no matter how complex or challenging. But now, that long-standing belief faces a major test. Recent events have introduced uncertainty and tension, shaking the confidence that has defined this border for so long. A dispute on a remote highway, seemingly far from the bustling cities, is straining this historic relationship. What happens here could have ripple effects across both nations. Even the strongest friendships require effort, understanding, and compromise to endure. The people who live and work along the border know this better than anyone. As the sun rises on a new chapter, the resilience of this cross-border bond will be put to the test. The coming days will reveal whether this friendship can weather the storm and emerge even stronger. The Alaska Highway stands as a powerful monument to the enduring unity between the United States and Canada. Stretching across vast wilderness, it is more than just a road. It's a living testament to what two nations can achieve when they work together toward a common goal. Built during the height of World War II, the highway was a remarkable joint effort, designed to secure Alaska and connect it to the rest of the United States. The urgency of war brought together American and Canadian resources, expertise, and determination, forging a bond that would last for generations. Soldiers and civilians from both nations braved unforgiving wilderness, extreme weather, and daunting terrain to complete the 500-mile route in less than a year, a feat many thought impossible. Their courage and teamwork transformed a remote, rugged landscape into a vital artery of connection. Today, the Alaska Highway remains Alaska's primary land link for commerce and travel, serving as a lifeline for communities and businesses alike. It's a road that brings people, goods, and ideas together, bridging distances that once seemed insurmountable. Every day, trucks deliver essential goods, and residents rely on the road to stay connected to the outside world. For many, the highway is not just a route, it's a vital part of daily life, supporting families and livelihoods. The highway transforms remote Canadian towns into vital stops, creating local economies built on cross-border travel and cooperation. Motels, diners, and gas stations thrive thanks to the steady flow of travelers, turning isolation into opportunity. It's a corridor of partnership, where nationality fades in the face of shared purpose. Here, Americans and Canadians meet not as strangers but as neighbors, united by the road and the spirit of collaboration. The Alaska Highway stands as a symbol of trust, sacrifice, and the enduring friendship between two nations. Its story is one of resilience and hope, echoing through every mile. It's a constant reminder that Canada has always provided safe passage for its American neighbors, opening its doors in times of need and fostering a spirit of mutual respect. That's why recent changes to this crucial route have been so shocking and unsettling for those who depend on it. The disruption has sent ripples of concern through communities on both sides of the border. A decision that turns a symbol of unity into a source of conflict strikes at the very heart of the US-Canada relationship, challenging the trust and cooperation that the Alaska Highway has represented for over 80 years. In the spring of 2025, British Columbia made a stunning announcement that sent shockwaves through the transportation industry. A new toll would be imposed on all US-registered commercial trucks using provincial highways to reach Alaska. The news broke suddenly, catching both American and Canadian trucking companies off guard, and immediately raising questions about cross-border cooperation. The fee, $750 for a one-way trip, or a staggering $1,500 for a round trip, was introduced without any prior warning or consultation with stakeholders. Trucking companies, drivers, and even local officials were blindsided by the abruptness of the policy. The toll specifically targeted American trucks in transit, with the charges collected electronically at newly established highway checkpoints. Canadian trucks and those not bound for Alaska were exempt, making the measure feel even more pointed. The BC government justified the move as necessary for road maintenance, citing increased wear from heavy trucks. Yet the sheer size of the toll and the lack of dialogue made it feel less like a maintenance fee and more like a punitive measure, especially to those most affected. For decades, American commercial traffic had passed through Canada with minimal friction, underpinned by a spirit of mutual benefit and trust. The border was seen as a gateway, not a barrier. The new toll shattered that long-standing understanding. For many Alaskans who rely on these routes for essential goods and supplies, it felt like a betrayal by a trusted neighbor, undermining years of partnership. The timing only made things worse. The announcement came just before the busy spring shipping season, when traffic is at its peak and supply chains are most vulnerable. The shock and frustration among truckers and logistics companies was palpable. Companies suddenly faced soaring costs, disrupted budgets, and tough decisions. Should they absorb the fee, pass it on to customers, or try to find alternative, often longer and more expensive routes? The uncertainty rippled through the industry, but perhaps the greatest damage was to trust and predictability. Businesses and communities on both sides of the border now questioned the reliability of long-standing agreements. The border, once a symbol of stability and reliability, had suddenly become a source of risk and uncertainty, casting a shadow over future cooperation. The move marked a sharp and unexpected break from decades of partnership, replacing goodwill with suspicion and frustration. The Alaska Highway, once celebrated as a symbol of unity and shared purpose between nations, was now at the center of a growing dispute, a flashpoint in a changing relationship. The fallout was immediate and widespread, affecting not just truckers and companies, but entire communities that depend on the free flow of goods across the border. The future of cross-border trade had suddenly become uncertain. The $750 toll hit Alaska hard and fast. The highway is Alaska's main supply route. There's no easy alternative. Trucking companies passed the cost to clients, making groceries, building materials, and essentials more expensive. Small businesses struggled as shipping costs soared. Some trucking companies stopped servicing Alaska, leading to shortages and empty shelves. The toll also made it harder for Alaskan goods to reach outside markets. The economic pain was felt everywhere, deepening Alaska's sense of isolation. Residents felt their lifeline to the rest of the U.S. was being squeezed. The issue became emotional, more than just dollars and cents. Alaskans felt abandoned, their connection to the country threatened. The toll was a daily reminder of their vulnerability. The sense of injustice grew with every price increase. From BC's perspective, the toll was about fairness. Officials argued American trucks caused heavy wear on highways without paying for upkeep. Harsh northern conditions make maintenance costly, and BC taxpayers footed the bill. The toll was framed as a user pay system. Those who use the roads should help fund them. Canadian trucks pay US fees, BC wanted reciprocity. The $750 fee was earmarked for road infrastructure, not politics. BC cited rising truck traffic and mounting repair costs. They insisted this was a last resort after failed talks with US officials. The province wanted to solve a fiscal problem, not punish a neighbor. But the move risked damaging a vital partnership. The US response was swift and furious. Lawmakers condemned the toll as hostile and unfair, calling for Canadian intervention. The State Department lodged a formal protest, and legal teams reviewed trade agreements for violations. Some in Congress demanded retaliatory tolls or tariffs on Canadian goods. The dispute quickly became a national story, the Alaska toll crisis. Americans saw it as Canada holding a U.S. state hostage. Public anger surged and pressure mounted on the White House to act. U.S. officials criticized the lack of consultation, calling the move disrespectful. They argued that allies don't impose punitive measures without warning. The issue was no longer just about Alaska, it was about defending principles. The partnership was at risk and trust was eroding fast. The stage was set for escalation. The dispute hit ordinary people hardest. In Alaska, families saw grocery prices jump and budgets tighten. Rumors of shortages led to panic buying and anxiety. The sense of isolation deepened, and daily life became more stressful. On the Canadian side, small towns along the highway suffered as truck traffic dwindled. Motels and diners lost business, and local economies faltered. Workers found themselves caught in a conflict they didn't create. Personal relationships across the border grew strained. Friendly waves became rare, replaced by resentment and blame. Americans felt extorted, some Canadians felt unfairly targeted. The easygoing border atmosphere faded. The dispute drove a wedge between neighbors. The human cost was measured in anxiety, lost income, and eroding goodwill. The BC toll raised fears of a dangerous precedent. If one province could impose heavy fees, others might follow, on both sides of the border. The risk a patchwork of retaliatory tolls and trade barriers across North America. Integrated supply chains could unravel, harming industries and jobs. The trust that underpins cross-border business was shaken. Companies need predictability. The toll shattered that stability. Political risk grew, making investment in cross-border projects less attractive. The danger, a downward spiral of tit-for-tat measures. The US considered retaliation. Canada might respond in kind. What began as a local dispute could spark a trade war. Both economies would suffer, and the partnership could be poisoned for years. The toll was a spark with the power to ignite a much larger fire. With tensions high, a solution was urgent. Suspending or reducing the toll would show goodwill and ease the crisis. This pause could open the door to real negotiations. A lasting fix might involve joint funding, U.S. contributions for highway upkeep. Options include annual payments or affordable permits for American trucks. The goal: fund maintenance without crippling commerce. Beyond money, trust and communication must be rebuilt. A joint commission could manage the highway and prevent future disputes. Ongoing cooperation would replace confrontation. The crisis is a reminder, this partnership needs care and compromise. The solution is about more than a toll, it's about preserving a unique friendship. By working together, the US and Canada can turn crisis into opportunity and build a stronger future.